Hello my loves, Tony here from TL Yarn Crafts with another Yarn Snob Reviews. This time I have a big box of new to me yarns from Lion Brand that I just cannot wait to try. Now upon first glance, these look perfect for the transition from summer to fall, but looks can be deceiving. I'm going to test out each of these yarns, giving you my first impression, likes and dislikes, and rounding out my review with a rating of 1 to 10 hooks. But before we dive into this pile of yarn, let's pay a few bills, starting with our video sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for the curious and the creative. Millions of members visit this video workshop platform to learn everything from illustration and design to photography, video production, and even crafting. Skillshare has classes to fit your skill level, and they're available on demand so they never conflict with your schedule. Now I was recently in the mood for something a little bit different, and I stumbled upon a gem of a class called Alchemy of Color. In this workshop, Peruvian artist Corelia Bloom takes us through the practice of harvesting dirt and rocks to turn them into natural pigments for painting. Now this workshop is equal parts education and a mindfulness exercise. Not only does Corelia train us on the types of rocks and soil to look for when creating these breathtaking colors, but she challenges us to be thankful to ourselves and to Mother Nature every step of the way. Not to mention her voice. It is so soothing. I feel like I could learn anything from her. And y'all know I know a bit about a soothing voice. Now this class and thousands more are available on demand when you upgrade to the premium membership. So if you're ready to explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and just get lost in your own creativity, jump on over to Skillshare. The first 1,000 subscribers to hit that link down in the description will get a free trial of the premium membership. Pretty please do not miss out on this. And while we're giving thanks, let's not forget our Cup of Caffeine sponsor. You all have been making my tip jar overflow ever since I announced Crochet Academy. It is so important to me to keep this program completely free, and your generosity goes a long way in ensuring that anyone can learn to crochet without financial barriers. Today's Cup of Caffeine sponsor is Shalonda. When donating, Shalonda said, "Thank you so much for doing Crochet Academy. I've ordered yarn for the cardigan, and I'm hoping to make my first adult size wearable." And thank you so much for participating in Crochet Academy, Shalonda. I can't wait to see how your Tony cuffed cardi turns out. You got this, girlfriend, and I am with you every step of the way. Now, if you enjoy my content and want to support my channel, buy me a coffee. Who knows, I might shout you out in one of my videos. Now let's dig into some Lion Brand yarns. Just remember that all of the yarns and patterns mentioned are linked down in the description. We'll kick things off with Re-Spekt, a recent addition to Lion Brand's sustainable stitching line that left me pleasantly surprised. So this Category 3 DK weight chainette yarn is made from an interesting blend of recycled polyester, acrylic, and cotton. The cute little 100-gram skeins have 262 yards and will cost you $7.99 each. The current collection hosts 10 tweedy colors, and the main hues are pinks, blues, greens, yellows, and a gorgeous charcoal gray. I walked into this Yarn Snob review very excited to try out this yarn, and it didn't let me down. The first thing you'll love about Re-Spekt is the texture. The main fiber that I feel is a downy cotton, smooth and soft to the touch, but somehow the yarn itself still feels very dense and substantial. I assume that attribute comes from the recycled polyester. After the touch, I was attracted to the coloring of this yarn. It is a true variegated yarn with flecks of different colors throughout the yarn thanks to the special chainette construction. You can clearly see the strands of different fiber, each being its own color. The final effect feels very mature and elevated compared to Lion Brand's normal fare, so kudos to them. As far as actual swatching, I did have some trouble at the very start. My first mistake was the hook size. I should have gone larger than a 6mm, but the label called for a 4mm hook, so I thought a 6mm for Tunisian crochet would be enough, but not really this time around. That density I was talking about earlier comes through in the stitching process, so you want to play around with your hook size to reach a gauge that feels comfortable to you. I also noticed that this yarn found every imperfection in my wood hook, and it held on for dear life. When using this yarn next time, I'll reach for a metal or a plastic hook instead, Or maybe it might just be time to give my wood hooks a once over with a fine grit sandpaper. More so, I see the potential in a yarn like this, so I'm giving it 9 out of 10 hooks. This feels like a yarn that should be in your local yarn store, made by a company like Barocco or Cascade. It looks good, it feels good, and it keeps oil-based polyester out of our landfills. Now those are all pluses in my book. If you get your hands on some Re-Spekt, try my Rebel Cami, a gorgeous little number that looks great under a denim jacket in the fall. If you're looking for something a bit out of the ordinary, give For the Home cording a go. Made for knitting, crochet, or macrame, this cord comes in 100 gram skeins with 68 yards in each skein and is categorized as a worsted weight. At $6.99 per skein, you get to choose from 9 mostly neutral shades. Now I'm a neutral loving gal, but this palette feels a little bit bland to me. You should take a look and decide for yourself. The yarn itself is made from polyester strands that are tightly wrapped around stiff lengths of cord. As a crocheter, I understand that I won't love working with every yarn I touch. Some yarns like raffia or jute are more for the finished project than the process. For the Home cording falls into that category for me. It has zero stretch, it is not particularly soft, and it's about as stiff as I am after 8 hours of computer work. Thankfully, I kept my stitches pretty simple making this swatch, so it wasn't complete torture. A yarn like this makes you slow down and focus on each stitch, which is honestly unnatural for me. I'm a pretty quick stitcher, and the flow and speed of my crochet practice is part of the fun for me, so I didn't really warm to this yarn. Now For the Home cording isn't all bad though. It offers stellar stitch definition since it has zero haze around the yarn itself. It also frogs beautifully, and I didn't have to worry about any knots. If I could offer some tips about using this yarn, I'd say to keep your stitches and your projects simple. It's a great option for things like bags, rugs, hats, and small purses. I'd even use this for keychains and friendship bracelets. Consider using a wood hook for some additional tension if you're having trouble maintaining your gauge. For the Home cording certainly has a place on the market, but for me, the cons far outweigh the pros, so I have to give it 4 out of 10 hooks. It was a pain in the butt to work with, and the final swatch doesn't really inspire many future projects for me. Now, if you are looking to make home decor projects, opt for a ribbon or maybe a natural cord instead. They're going to be easier on your hands and offer the same positive attributes. Now we'll venture to the finer side of Lion Brand as we try out cotton bamboo linen. This is a category 2 sport weight yarn, meaning it's slightly heavier than fingering weight and slightly lighter than DK. This yarn combines 3 plant fibers, cotton, bamboo, and linen into one powerhouse of a spring yarn. Each cute little donut skein offers 164 yards per 50 grams, and it'll cost you $4.99. The color palette of 12 hues is playful yet sophisticated, with a nice blend of bright, saturated colors and relaxed neutrals. The yarn itself is made up of 2 4-ply yarns that are then loosely plied together, offering a light and airy feel to the yarn. I've been working with a lot of DK weight and worsted weight yarns lately, so trying out this sport weight yarn was a bit challenging for me to get going. Getting through the starting chain in row 1 were a struggle, but after that, it was super smooth sailing. The slightly shiny yarn was able to glide over my aluminum hook with no problem, and it maintained gauge throughout. I did experience some splitting, which was a little annoying. The strands of this yarn do have a Z twist, which is ideal for crocheters, but it is so loosely spun that fibers still have a chance to separate from one another, causing me some headache while stitching. As I got further into my swatch, my mind started to wander and imagine all of the projects I could make with yarns like this. It's silky smooth with a sheen that gets more subtle once it's stitched. It made me think of flowy tank tops and summer shawls, and I got so excited. Now, between the color palette, the beautiful feel of this yarn, and the lightweight, I could definitely see this in my stash for years to come. And that's truly the beauty of Lion Brand's LB collection. You get to try unique and luxurious fibers without the hefty price tag. And if you find yourself on Lion Brand's website during this weekend's 35% off sale, make sure a few skeins from the LB collection make it into your basket. Cotton bamboo linen is divine, it's smooth, it's silky, and so soft. For that reason, I'm giving it a respectable 7 out of 10 hooks. It's more of a special occasion yarn, and it is a little bit splitty, so I had to knock off some points for that. Otherwise, it's an enjoyable crochet experience, and I think you're really gonna love it. Now, you'll want cotton linen feminine bamboo next to your skin, so I recommend using it for my cabana cardi, the perfect spring cocoon pattern. Alexandra of Two of Wands is considered one of the most color-conscious designers in the game, so it's no wonder that she followed up her super successful bulky weight Hue and Me yarn with Color Theory, a worsted weight option created in collaboration with Lion Brand. This yarn's claim to fame are the 18 different colors, each of which is designed to be compatible with nearly every other color in the collection. Color Theory is made up of 12 yarn strands with a medium twist for a bouncy, lofty yarn. If you have wool allergies or you're a vegan maker, rejoice! Color Theory is made of 100% acrylic, but the soft texture and spongy feel remind me more of animal fiber. Each 100-gram skein packs 246 yards and will set you back $6.99. Now right out of the gate, I appreciate that Color Theory is truly its own yarn. When I heard that there would be a follow-up to Hue and Me, I thought it would just be a lighter version of the same yarn, but boy was I wrong. Color Theory reminds me of the late great Re-Spun. Now, not that stuff they tried to re-release last year. No, I'm talking about OG Re-Spun from 7 years ago. But in contrast, Color Theory has all the positive attributes of an animal fiber while being completely animal fiber free, making it more accessible to a wider maker community. Stitching with this yarn is a real treat. I was able to keep consistent tension throughout, which aided in keeping my normal crochet pace. The metal hook with this yarn isn't too grippy or too slippery, it was just right. And the twist in the yarn played well with the texture of this alpine stitch swatch. This is actually the largest swatch I made all day because I just could not stop using this yarn. Color Theory gets an easy 8 out of 10 hooks from me. It's got a lot going for it. The fiber and feel make this a great year-round yarn for garments and accessories. The color palette is flattering for the majority of skin tones, and there are endless mix and match options. Consider keeping a few skeins in your stash for quick gifts and craft show products. With so many pretty colors to choose from, I'd highly recommend Color Theory for your next linen stitch square temperature blanket. Learn more about this project on my blog, linked in the description. Say hello to 24/7 Cotton DK, a lighter version of Lion Brand's iconic 24/7 cotton. The DK weight version offers 273 yards per 100-gram skein at $5.99 each. The collection currently has 12 colors featuring neutrals, pastels, and a few bright shades. This 100% cotton yarn has 4 plies with a medium to tight twist and very little halo. Fans of 24/7 cotton will notice the differences between these two yarns in an instant. The original 24/7 cotton is mercerized cotton with a chainette construction, while this version is a smooth, non-mercerized yarn with a traditional twist. While these yarns aren't carbon copies of each other, there is room in the market for both of them, and 24/7 Cotton DK is getting major props online. While it's on the thinner side of DK, makers love how versatile it is, using it for everything from garments and accessories to home decor and even amigurumi. And I totally get the excitement. Just look at this adorable granny square come together. I really enjoyed using 24/7 Cotton DK. The color is vibrant and consistent throughout. The yarn itself is smooth to the touch and glides over the hook, making gauge consistent, and I was able to crochet at my normal speed. The only drawbacks were a knot that I couldn't untangle near the beginning and getting my bearings with this yarn initially. Like I mentioned, I haven't worked with lightweight yarns in some time, so I needed to adjust for how thin this yarn is. In case it's not coming through in my voice, I was floored by the final result of using this yarn. 24/7 Cotton DK won my heart with this adorable granny square. It might be one of the most perfect granny squares I've ever made. The color changes are crisp, the stitch definition is on point, and the square itself is soft with lovely drape. 24/7 Cotton DK gets a glowing 9 out of 10 hooks from me. I just hope Lion Brand keeps this one around and offers it in more colors soon. If you're itching to try a project with 24/7 Cotton DK, try my newest pattern, the Quinn Blanket. Combine 6 of your favorite colors for this fun baby Afghan. We'll wrap things up with one more contender from the Sustainable Stitching collection. collection. This is Re-Spun. Re-Spun is made from 100% recycled polyester, but has a toothy softness, kind of like a non-superwash wool. It's a crowd-pleasing Category 4 weight with 394 yards in the 170 gram skein. At just $4.99 for each skein, you can load up on the 12 cozy colorways, each of which has light heathering and a soft halo. The yarn strand is made from 3 soft plies, giving this yarn a good balance of density and softness. Sustainability in craft is a huge conversation right now, and I'm grateful to see Lion Brand leaning into the trend. Their Re-Spun yarn is part of the Sustainable Stitching collection, which features renewable and recycled fibers. The polyester in Re-Spun comes from plastic bottles that would otherwise clutter our landfills and oceans. To see one of my favorite brands turn a big problem into a clever solution had me more than ready to try Re-Spun. But I sold myself a little bit short with this swatch. My biggest mistake was the hook choice. It was way too small for this yarn, but I soldiered on anyways, which ended up being a problem. Then I used a stitch pattern that included Tunisian knit stitch, which causes the gauge to collapse even more, so the final swatch was quite stiff, depriving me of the softness that everyone raves about in the product reviews online. But I would love to know what you think about it. Have you seen Re-Spun at your local shops? And have you had a chance to try it? If not, consider picking up a few skeins during Lion Brand's 35% off sale going on this weekend. Use the code AUG35DP, which I've also put down in the description, to save 35% off all kits and yarn through Monday. I hope some of the yarns I tried today make it into your cart too. A huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and to Lion Brand for sending me the yarn, but the biggest thanks goes to you for watching. It truly means the world to me. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!